Hello, everyone out there, and welcome to the Elite Racing Network here on Monday night as we start our playoffs in the Xfinity Series. Tonight's race sponsor, this is the Ridge NAPA Auto Parts. How many laps are we at tonight here? 125. There we go. This race is brought to you by the Ridge NAPA Auto Parts. They are a family-owned business celebrating its 95th year in operation and have 16 stores in southern Indiana and southwest Michigan. Qualifying just wrapped up. We are gridding up. It looks like Tyler Fody is going to be on the pole, Scott Crump, Jacob Adams, R.C. Anderson, and Gerald Campbell. We are kicking off our first round of the playoffs tonight. So looking here at the playoffs, we have Fody, Adams, Josh Adams, Scott Crump, Jonathan Cutlip, Seth Rawls, Garrison Hogan, Josh Robin, David Tooker, Ethan Stanley, Jacob Adams, Gerald Campbell, Michael Goodman, David Carpenter, and Matthew Weeks are our playoff guys. And at the end of this round, we will send 5 of those guys home. Working through our starting grid, I already mentioned the front 5. Ethan Burrell is 6th, Jonathan Cutlip, Ethan Stanley, Trey Holmes, and Chad Frankenfield. And joining me in the booth tonight is Brent Jones. Brent, you want to take over our rundown here?
Alrighty, sounds good. From there we have Corey Abbott starting 12th with Tooker in 11th. Then we have Joshua Adams and Carpenter. Good qualifying for Carpenter. Who's been showing some pace as of late in 13th. 15th is Garrison, 16th Robin, 17th Jake Kanor, 18th Brandon Ultra, 19th Jesse Rasmus, 20th Seth Rawls, 21st Andrew Rucker, 22nd Hunter Smith, 23rd Joe Francis, and 24th Leighton Nogard completes the second batch. Then you have Joe Francis, 25th, actually no, I'm already reading off that one. 25th Weeks, 26th Dewar, Dusty Dewar, 27th. I can't read that one. Frankenfield, 28th Vandermeer, 29th Rebilas, 30th Goodman, 31st Michael Hosek, 32nd Harrison Talon, 33rd Joshua Personette, and 34th Rory Collins. That will complete the field of 34 cars tonight here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, the pace cars coming around. Robert Hill is here tonight. He is just going to be producing. Green flag is going to come out here, and we are green from New Hampshire. Real quick here, we have 3 sets in the pits and 1 set on the car, and a fuel window here is about 75 to 80 laps. Side by side for the lead down into turn 1. Fody's going to inch ahead. It's going to get clear of Scott Crump there off of turn 2. The battle is on for P3 as Jake Adams and R.C. Anderson are side by side for that 3rd place. And Jake is one of the guys who comes in here as a playoff driver, but underneath the cut line, so his strongest qualifying effort of the year. Great place to have it.
Correct. 28th was Vandermeer, but he's already up to 25th, by the way.
All the way through this field. These cars here at New Hampshire, Brent, I'm sure you could attest, typically at New Hampshire, they won't turn in the 10-acre field.
Hold on. Weeks just got loose in the mid-pack there. He saved it. Yeah, this is one of the more challenging tracks that these guys will ride on all season. Like, there's very little banking to rely on, so it's all driver skill and comfort. And if you don't have either, it's a long race. Take it from me personally.
But you say it's a long race. It is only 125 laps. Do you foresee us using all 3 sets of tires in the pits?
Under the right scenarios, it could happen as we get all Rucker.
Little contact there. Everybody gets away.
They gather it back up. But yeah, under the right scenarios, we could see all 3 tire sets come into play here easily. This track is notorious for using right side tires now.
Yeah, but so far so good. A clean start as we are working lap 4 here. Looks like Jake Adams will get in line behind R.C. Anderson. And going to immediately be challenged by Ethan Burrell. Down into turn 3. It looks like he's going to let Ethan go. Fall in line. Just try to make some lap time here. Nice little gap behind him to Gerald Campbell. And I did speak to Gerald a little bit before this race. He was very frustrated with how Martinsville shook out. Thought they had a shot to win. He did appear to have the speed at times, so This place is a little bit bigger than Martinsville, but it's a flat, heavy braking racetrack, so maybe Gerald can bring some of that magic over here and get some redemption after Martinsville maybe didn't go the way they wanted it to.
Yeah, Gerald seems to thrive a lot better at these type of tracks, and it shows in his craft, essentially.
I do want to make mention that one of our cars out here has a new sponsorship for this race and the rest of the season, and that is Josh Adams has a new sponsor out here tonight. New scheme, new sponsor. Hopefully it brings him some playoff luck out here. We'll see if that is the case, as it is High Noon Sun Sips. Not sure I know a whole lot about that.
It's a vodka infused hard seltzer, essentially.
So there you go. See, I'm not a drinker. I wouldn't know.
I am a part-time drinker.
You only drink when your races go bad, right?
Well, we're going to have one if we do make the Chase Wednesday, that's for sure.
As of right now, I also spoke to Tyler Fody pre-race, and he said they weren't going to be very good tonight. And he goes out here and wins the pole, and he's led every lap so far. So I guess him saying he wasn't going to be very good, I don't know. It's Tyler Fody in the seat. I never count him out, but he was really counting himself out here in the pre-race.
Yep, indeed.
That's right now how it shakes out. We have Fody, Crump, R.C. Anderson, Ethan Burrell, and Jacob Adams as our top 5.
Let's give a big shout to R.C. Anderson. Landed that Indy 500 ride this past week. I don't know what team was it for again? Cusack?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the tweet. I've had a lot of stuff going on, so I did see that he is going to be attempting to run the Indy 500 next year, and I know he's already made, I believe, just one attempt in previous years, and they missed the show. So hopefully this time he can put that thing out there and make the show. I know everybody here at Elite Racing Network and everybody in the Elite Racing Series is going to be pulling for him to be able to make that field of 33 in May.
Indeed so.
It's right now. Everybody's kind of getting single filed out. We saw the craziness at the start, a couple near misses. And now everybody's kind of in line and you're kind of stuck. The tires have started to wear. People are losing the right front, starting to push. So it's really hard to drive underneath somebody and be able to pull up off the corner and stay next to them. So at this point in the race, you're just trying to maybe survive now, save your right front better than the guys that are in front of you. Because if you do have right front left here after 20, 25 laps, not everybody will. You'll be able to make passes at that point.
Yep, and as we noted before the start, this track probably is one of the more notorious right front eating tracks on this with this car specifically.
Yeah, and if it stays green, it is going to be a one-stop race. They'll have to make one stop for fuel. Oh, Gerald Campbell gets churned by David Tooker. They're going to save it.
They keep it going.
Well, the bad luck has followed Gerald here. Let's take a look here at the replay. Tooker's behind him. They're going to go down into the corner. Not a dive bomb. Tooker's still in line behind him. Tooker just rotates a little better. Just a little bit better. Incidental contact. Gerald's not going to be happy, but I don't think Tooker meant to hit him.
Yep, just Tooker had more momentum at that point of the run than he did, and just a race. That was like just a normal racing deal. What happens here, unfortunately, sometimes.
But it doesn't matter to Gerald probably because his track position that he had is now gone.
Yep, that is affirmative. He did not have a playoff banner on his car, by the way.
And that is Ethan Stanley, who we are talking about. Got an EOL at the start of this race. Did not have the correct banner, so he is trying to work his way forward. And Ethan Stanley also tomorrow night will be going for the ARCA Championship. And he's been on fire in Elite this season.
Let's give a shout to Seth Rawls. He started 20th. He's one of the biggest movers so far, up to 13th right now in the 25 car.
Yeah, you just got to hope you're not using that right front up too much. He's got Gerald right behind him.
Oh, look at that. Whoa. I was going to say, yeah. That's
Gerald Campbell! is wrecked on the backstretch with Brandon Ultra.
Hard hit for Gerald.
Unbelievable what just happened to Gerald Campbell, boys.
Yeah,
there is a glitch at this racetrack that has been here for years, and iRacing has yet to fix. And this is right here.
Oh my god! And poor
Brandon Ultra
doesn't even see it coming.
This is why this track probably needs a rescan or reworked or something. Something needs to happen with iRacing because that obviously is not ideal. You know, you can't have a track like this and have glitches like that.
Don't worry, iRacing will skate like 15 more dirt tracks before we get to that point, but hey. But yeah, just Brand Ultra, just nowhere to go. You just don't expect anything like that to happen to a straightaway. He tries to slow it down. It's just, yeah.
And we have a split decision on pit road here. Some pitting, some not.
Yeah, Fody, top 3 are staying out.
RC pitted. So did Ethan Burrell. No tally from race control, and I think we will take this opportunity right here on the first caution of the night to throw it to commercial.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Yeah, and welcome back here as we finish cleaning up that incident there on the backstretch where Gerald Campbell had a nasty wreck. Tonight's race, once again, is the Ridge NAPA Auto Parts. They are a family-owned business celebrating its 95th year in operation, have 16 stores in northern Indiana and southwest Michigan. Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for small business. Worldwide Technology Raceway, and it is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri, and it features a 1.25-mile NASCAR Cup Series, Truck Series, and Open Wheel Series racetrack. It's a great facility. We should be racing there in just a couple months' time for NASCAR. And, of course, TA Services, who you just saw there on the commercial. They are, for over 36 years, they've been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing, fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. And they have came on board in real life to sponsor Kyle Sieg as well for some select Xfinity races this year. The pace car is off. And we are green Fody with a huge jump this time. Scott Crump stayed side by side with him last time. And this time, it's side by side with Jake Adams as RC Anderson in the back of the pack is making it 3 wide. Really quick here. Those new tires are restarting.
Chad!
About 19th.
Chad nearly got turned by Rory off of 2 there. They gathered it up, thankfully. Yep, I'm focused on right now, too.
RC is trying to move up through the field right now on his fresh tires. being on the bottom has been a big benefit here, as Ethan Burrell has been kind of trapped up there behind some guys.
Yeah, he's riding that high line. His tires ain't gonna last long, but he's really giving it a go. Oh, Trey, he saved it somehow.
I'm going to tell you boys right now, we're not watching it, but there are slide jobs going on for P2. Jake Adams drove down into turn 1, slid right up in front of Crump. Crump then went down into turn 3 and returned the favor, slid right up in front of Jake. Now let's see if Jake's going to do it again. He is not. Going to settle in here to P3 right now, and this is the first time this season been able to say that. The Adams brothers run 3rd and 4th right now. As we take a look here at the 32 machine of Dustin Dewar, I believe is who's driving that machine.
Yep, that is Dusty Dewar. Once again, that Jeff Green throwback from 1999.
He is right now backing up. There's Ethan Burrell trying to move forward on his fresh tires, but nobody is moving forward quite like R.C. Anderson on his fresh tires, as he has already drove back into the top 10.
I was going to call up Brandon Oltree. He was involved in that last yellow. I don't know if he had any major damage, but he's been hanging tough around the top 15 despite staying out up until now here.
Yeah, I thought he had more damage than what he's got, but he's still hanging on. Who knows? Maybe he didn't get any damage the way that wreck happened. Oh, and RC's going to have contact.
Oh, he saved.
Yeah, I believe RC's contact was cut lip sliding up into him just a little bit in the middle of the corner.
Oh, look at Chad passing below the apron.
There we go, boys.
He made it work somehow.
You could run anywhere on this facility. There's Rucker. He's seen what Chad did, and now he's going to drive down there. Ethan Stanley with a big run off of 2. And RC is just, this is how you do it if you get fresh tires. You be super aggressive in a lane that you know nobody else is in and just pass him down there. As he now is going to move into the 6th position, I believe.
Yep.
Scott Crump is also closing the gap to Fody as this battle heats up here. Right here at 4th, you got Josh Adams, you got Garrison Hogan, and you got the fresh tires on R.C. Anderson. Garrison's going to give him the bottom. Let's see if is he giving him the spot, or was he just saying this is the lane I want? I believe he's just saying this is the lane I want.
Yep, that appears that way. And Ethan also is following him also.
Ethan was a lot more patient through this traffic, and he's gotten to the back bumper of RC here. And I believe Chad is also on fresh tires, correct?
Yes, yeah, it is correct.
So Chad is now trying to make his way up here and be a factor in this as well. Looks like Josh Adams maybe just gave it up there to RC. That is that's 2 teammates there. He's just going to let both of them go, it looks like. We'll see if he gives Chad the same luxury. He might race Chad a little bit. RC now going after the other Adams brother.
These two are working it pretty dang fast around these guys that stayed out.
And Jake is going to be able to get down here. Back in behind him. And now there's just 2 cars left out front. Rucker's also, we're looking here at a battle for 11th, I believe, but Rucker just made a pretty snazzy move to get underneath Seth Rawls there. As he is trying to come up through this traffic. The way he's been passing cars, I'm guessing that guy's also Andrew Rucker also on tires at this point, I believe. And we've also got a change at second place. Chad's going to go around Jake. RC is going to go around Crump. And Garrison is trying to go around Josh.
Trey Holmes, ever since that save on that restart, the move to the field, he's up to 14th now.
Garrison gets around Josh. Going to bring Rucker right along. And right now, if you're these guys that stayed out, this is about the time you'd like to get a caution. Because it's going to be hard for these guys who pitted already to come back down and get tires again.
Yeah, they're... The longer this run goes, the more they're going to pay that price for staying out, that's for sure.
Tooker's underneath Seth Rawls back there as well right now.
Oh, they just... Trey and Jesse nearly just tangled there.
We got a lead change, boys. RC Enerson to the point. Ethan Burrell going to come right with him.
You can see that gulf between those two cars and basically Crump there at this point.
So now, tires are first and second. We will see if Ethan Burrell's got more tires. Here we go, boys. It looks like Jesse Rasmus is going to take advantage of the 11 getting his momentum killed.
Yeah, that was pretty aggressive there, but...
I'm not so sure that it was a big send as much as Matthew just kind of let him have it.
Yeah. We call that around here an optical illusion.
Yeah, it looked like he sent it, but the way that he got that thing rotated in that second line, I think Matthew was just like, you know what? I tried to pass Trey and I couldn't do it. You go ahead and see if you can do it. And right now you have a mixed bag of strategy. There's a line of cars, I believe, right in behind Josh Adams. That when you have them lined up behind you like Josh does, that means you're holding them up. So how patient are all these guys going to be right now? Because, I mean, behind Josh, there's like 10 cars that are just like on top of each other. And those guys are all on the same tires as Josh until you get to Trey Holmes. So most of those guys right there, Josh has just used up a little bit more of his tire life than everybody else's. Chad Rinkenfield is going to go around Tyler Fody. So that'll move Chad up to P3. Also on tires, one of those cars that chose to get tires. Chad may be having his best run of the season, and I know he'll be saying what if after missing the playoffs and missing out. If he goes out here and runs top 3 or 5 tonight, it'll be pretty hard to swallow, but I think he'll be pretty happy as well to kind of maybe get that monkey off his back and turn the luck around. As Garrison's going to move around Jacob Adams. But the good thing going for Jake is his brother has a full conveyor belt, and he's kind of blocking for his brother right now. Because I haven't seen Seth really take one dive, really one aggressive move. Josh had to lift off of 4. Josh got tight, had to lift, and that opened the floodgates.
That's what we're talking about right there, that tire life right there. We're 37 laps, and you're around these guys that have newer ones. It's starting to catch up to you, some of these guys.
But it's still hard to pass that guy. Josh is still going to be hard to pass down there. You're going to have to hold your line, get the bite off the corner. Josh just doesn't really look like he has much to fight with right now. I mean, he has nothing there for those guys. Side by side behind him there is Norgard's going to take a look underneath David Tooker.
Yeah, Leighton Orgard having a great run up there. Started 24th, he's up to 14th, and so is Matthew Weeks. They started 25th up to 15th. Both have gained 10 spots each since the start of this race.
Yeah, and Norgard, he's kind of had a sneaky, really good season here. One of the newer guys here in Elite, so not know what to expect, but he's won a truck race this season. I believe it was at Homestead, so he's had a sneaky, pretty good, first season here in Elite, and would not shock me at all to see him find his way to get some track position later in the race, maybe have something to go fight these boys with.
Yeah, I've raced against him week in and week out on trucks this season, and I've been very impressed with his growth this season, especially. Been really fun to race around at times.
It's just Ethan Stanley's been so good in everything that it kind of overshadows anybody else. And everybody else is really overshadowed by Ethan Stanley and him going out and just being a rocket ship. Like I said, he's going to fight for that ARCA title tomorrow. He's been very good in the Cup car. He's been very good in the Xfinity car, very good in the truck. Everything Ethan gets in, usually it'll find its way to the front. Taking a look here at the battle with Josh Robin on the inside. That's Joe Francis on his outside there. Like I said, every time I see that car, I think about like a Gavel Designs car. He needs to put him a big bag of Grippos on there next week or something. Big bag of barbecue chips on the hood of that thing, since it's got barbecue chips on the side of the car. Taking a look here at Michael Goodman. Looks like he is opening his mouth wide for NAPA there. Ooh. That didn't sound like quite what I was thinking, but that NAPA prime placement there for their sponsorship tonight. Right now, RC has about an 0.8 of a second lead over Ethan Burrell. It's 2.5 or so to Chad Frankenfield. Fody and Crump still on the old tires. Rucker in 6th. Garrison, Jacob Adams, Seth Rawls, Trey Holmes running out the top 10. And Josh Adams has now backslid outside the top 15. And then this is the Rebilas Photo Series here. He's the series sponsor. He's out here running tonight. There he is, running right around Justin Vandermeer. Plenty of good places. I've been to New Hampshire. I've been up here to this facility. Plenty of places to get some great pictures. So I am sure if Mark has been there, he has gotten some great pictures, especially on the back side of the racetrack there on the back stretch. Any big sporting events coming up for him? Does anybody know? I'm not sure if he's got anything coming up before we get to the Indy 500.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had a few playoff games or whatever to put photography for, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I believe the NBA playoffs are going on as we look at Josh Robin and Brandon Ultra. And there's our leader, R.C. Anderson, and second place runner, Ethan Burrell. And Chad Frankenfield in 3rd. Who would have thought? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, no playoff guys. Then you get to Tyler Fody. And you get to Scott Crump. Andrew Rucker, not a playoff guy. Garrison, Jake Adams right there. Jake's probably... I talked to Jake a little bit before this race, and he wasn't sure exactly how good they were going to be. He was optimistic that they could be decent, but he really wasn't sure if they were going to be good enough to win. But I think based on how the strategies are right now, based on where he's running compared to the other guys on his tires, I think Jake's sitting pretty good. Get a couple late cautions or timely cautions. I think Jake's going to have a shot there to maybe have a shot at his first win there. And I know his owner is sitting up here right now with us. I'm sure Robert Hill would be pretty excited. You got Trey Holmes coming up behind him, and Jesse Razum is rounding out the top 10 as this field has really strung out. Based on my talks with teams prior to the race, there's probably only 30 or 35 laps left of fuel for these guys who did not pit on that first caution. And it will be a one-stop race, but if you have to pit 15 laps for everybody else, that's great if it runs green. But if you catch a caution in that 15-lap window, That's not great. And those guys not being in the playoffs, there is no reason for them to try to pit when everybody else pits. They can just run it long and hope that they catch a caution. But for the most part, I believe all the playoff guys will be pitting at the same time. I think that what we saw there on that first pit stop was a lot of the guys who aren't in the playoffs taking a swing at track position. And most of the playoff guys played it safe and didn't use up a set of tires there on that first caution.
Indeed so. Like I said, you're already out of it. Why not take some risk? Why not gamble? You know, you never know when it falls your way out here.
That's exactly right. And the window's going to open here in the next 5 to 10 laps. Just because they can still run 30 laps doesn't mean you're going to want to run 30 laps. So here in about the next 10 laps, the window's going to open. You can pit and make it on fuel. Trey Holmes is now taking a look here, trying to get around Jacob Adams. There he is, looking to the inside.
Yeah, Trey Holmes has had a lot of bad luck this season, and pretty much every series we run, but he's having a great run tonight in that 88 Mountain Dew Chevrolet.
Yeah, and then you got Jesse Razimus. I believe both of these cars pitted as well on the first caution. So it's very interesting to see how all this goes and plays, how this strategy is going to play out, because at this point they've ran long enough where I'm ready to say that was the right call to make.
It's like Fody has started equalizing. Yep,
Here we go, Josh Robin.
Looks like this is going to be his short pit strategy. We usually see,
and that is a playoff guy, so this is a big risk for Josh Robin.
Yep, that's going to be asking a lot for it to work out for him here. Looks like it's going to be normal service.
Well, what you're hoping for is it to run through green flag stops and catch a caution in 30 laps from now, after everybody else is pitted.
75 laps on a set at this point is asking a lot just in general, much less on this strategy.
Oh, for sure. I don't disagree, but I don't think he's planning on these tires going 75 laps here. You're making this play because you're running 30th. You're at the back. It's not a great night for you. You missed the boat on that initial strategy. And here comes Ethan Stanley as well. So like I said,
that was the guy who was charging hard to the front. That's the EOL at the start of the race there.
And Josh Robin is going to lose 1 lap. Almost, he comes out just in front of the leader not to go 2 laps down.
Yeah, it's
but
very
he
hard.
should drive away.
Yes, indeed. Yep.
Yeah, he should drive away. Josh Robin will drive away from the leader right here with fresh tires.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks that is so hard to pit if you're in the back. Like, if you don't time it right, you're almost sure. You're almost going to rest assured you're going to if you don't time it right in some aspect.
Josh is another guy that's pretty frustrated probably with how this is shaking out. So now we see how this plays out. David Chooker gonna go around Jake Adams here now. We also have some different things going on right now with tire strategies, but we also got some cloud cover that just came over. That's going to change the handling of these cars. Maybe, I don't know, it might tighten them up a little bit. Maybe just more grip overall. We shall see. RC about to have to deal with traffic for the first time tonight. Seth Rawls is going to come to pit road right here. Lots of playoff guys have pitted here under green, and that makes me pretty nervous. Makes me really nervous when you're a playoff guy putting yourself laps down like this. Ethan Stanley's still moving up to the field right now, as he's on his new tires, already made his green flag stop, so he's passing everybody like they're sitting still.
Like Holmes just gave it up there, at least for now.
Yeah, here we go. Another pit stop here. Dustin Dewar. Yeah, this is the only non-playoff do-good car that's out here tonight. I think that's kind of a dig there on Dusty. I don't know if that's right. I'm getting fed some information here, Dewar. So if you want to be mad at the guy that's feeding me some information if you watch this later. Very curious when we are going to see our front three, what I consider our front three on the strategy.
Yeah, they just pit. Yeah, Fody and Crumps are going another lap as we speak here, so they won't be pitting for at least another lap or two at least.
They're about to be racing for a position here. Loose there, trying to make that pass. This is the type of spot where you sometimes can catch a caution. Some guys on new tires, some guys on old tires. So we're going to see how this shakes out for a lot of these guys. And we might not know for a little while how it's going to shake out for a lot of these guys. One car out of the race, if you're just joining us, it is Gerald Campbell, who wrecked going into 3. Everybody else seems to be running, as 25 of Seth Rawls pulls right up on Resimus and is able to turn underneath and pass him.
Got one. Looks like Dave Carpenter is pitting this time. Carpenter is pitting.
Great sponsorship there on his car as well, since he's pitting here. Talk about that for a second. Never want to lose anybody to anything, and that's just, I think that's great that Dave is out here.
And Rucker is pitting now. Sorry, they're not good, but Rucker is also pitting. That move actually surprises me. He just pitted on that last yellow.
Maybe he's not wanting to get caught out too much here.
Yeah. Yeah, what's all Lemons of Love on great organization. We miss Aaron every day.
Here comes Michael Goodman.
We heard reports that Jay Keener is also pitting this time as well.
Here comes Hosick. Here comes...
And yeah, Zeus is also pitting. That's another playoff guy. Yeah. Hearing reports the tire was brutal in the 24 car as well.
Taking a look here at Fody and Crump running right there together. I'm gonna tell you what, this place ever lets them get back on even cycle with those leaders. Those two cars right there are the cars to beat, I think.
Yeah, they're. As I was pulling out the 24, that's a prime example of if you don't take care of your tires, that's pretty much the end result. What happens here, pretty much in general, with this track here.
Yeah, this place is very tight. Gets very tight. We got Chad Frankenfield coming up here, closing in on Ethan Burrell. That's going to be a battle for position. Yeah, Ethan and I don't know that there's much Chad can do about that split either. That's a lot of new tires right there.
Oh my goodness. Layton's in pit road from 11th.
Joe Francis also on pit road. We got a lot of pit stops happening right now, but we are about ready to have a battle for second. And I'm going to tell you what, Scott Crump and Tyler Fody have driven back towards these guys a little bit. It's only RC who's gone, as Rucker and Seth Rawls are trying to navigate these two. Here we go, boys. At what point does Fody and Crump throw the towel? Here comes Hardcastle.
I think whoever pulls that trigger between Fody and Crump, if we get back an even keel, might just have a better chance of winning this race at this point.
It's going to be very interesting. RC can still run quite a bit longer than a lot of these guys.
I'm guessing that will.
And we have a change at second place. Chad Frankenfield is going to move around Ethan Burrell. All that is going on nearly 5 seconds behind the leader.
It's like we're getting reports that John Cutlip and Corey Abbott are pitting. Oof. Tight entry and a very long pit lane too. Very notorious for speeding penalties that happen.
Yeah, as Josh Adams now moves around Fody as well. That is not for a position, obviously. That's new tires there, watching that battle with Fody and Crump.
It's like Rory Collins will be pitting from 17th this time by, it appears. Oh, copy. Probably the smart call from at this point if he is continuing to drop through the field. Oh!
As we saw there, RC nearly getting a piece of the wall. I think our eyes and sim might have deceived us just a little bit on that RC situation.
If he did, it was a light graze if he did.
We take a look here, right here in the middle of these green flag stops.
Jacob Adams is pitting.
Here comes Jake. He was out there as well on those tires from the initial stop. Taking a look here at what's going on, I think Tyler Fody is going to repass Ethan Burrell. before pit stops. And
That-
Ethan's on way new tires.
That will be huge for Fody.
And Ethan Burrell pitted on that first caution, so that's pretty incredible stuff there.
And that's just another example of tire management versus pushing right there at this track.
And we won't know for a long time how this pit cycle is going to shake out for these guys. It'll be...
Robin is pitting again.
That's not good for Robin, considering he started this pit cycle and he's pitting again before it's over.
Yeah, he's still... that will guarantee him fall multiple laps down. Yep, he's got damage too, so something must have happened recently.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Yeah, Fody's trying to repass Burrell on older tires.
He might actually accomplish it. He's got a lot... What a remarkable drive for Fody. This is now 77 entering 78 laps on the same set. He's passing guys who has pit already once in this race.
There's a reason Tyler Fody wins a lot of races, and we are seeing it right now. Yeah, RC's in his own little zip code tonight, boys. I don't know. Well, Ethan Stanley's out in front of RC here, but Ethan Stanley has already pitted this cycle. He should be driving away from RC, I believe.
Yeah, he was one. Yeah, Ethan was really early in that pit cycle too.
Scott Crump has also just went back around Ethan Burrell.
At this point, he's gonna probably have to think about pitting or doing something soon because that's just not ideal.
And these guys, Scott Crump and Tyler Fody.
Oh,
Here
Fody's
comes
pitting.
Fody.
Fody is pitting. Here we go. This will start the remaining dominoes, I feel like, with pit strategy, I feel like. Crump will be hitting this lap as well.
Yeah, Scott Crump's going to come this time.
And Ethan, there it is. This is where the dominoes start falling. Ooh, Crump was really deep entering there. Oh, locked him up. Trey, not Trey.
And I will say this about Chad. There is no reason for Chad to pit before his fuel runs out.
Exactly. Like, he's got to extend this as long as he can here. Chad's just got to hope for either a yellow or this plays out at this point.
Oh, Chad gets in the middle three there as Fody says, yeah, I'm not waiting around, buddy.
It's go time for Fody. He's got to make this happen now.
Cutlip's going to get his lap back. This is all turned into a race for position right here. As these guys are coming up on Chad, all these guys are racing for a spot. This is all battle inside the top 15 at this point, too, right here, around 15. Scott Crump, Ethan Burrell, Jake Canor, Jake Adams. All these guys are spots. And they all matter. Y'all want to pass the leader, but if you can't pass the leader, you want to be the first car behind him when the caution waves.
Yep.
Jake got a little bit of front end damage there right after pit road. I have been watching the lap times. He ran his fastest lap the lap after. I do not believe it's hurt.
Chad's pitting here. Chad looks like he's pitting here. That's a big shock. I thought you'd stretch out a bit longer.
That'll handle lead to Jesse Rasmus if he continues to stay out. We are now at just 40 laps to go, waiting for all these pit cycles to come around. RC is going to be out front once all this happens. Right now we have Jesse and Rucker still out in front of him. Chad's going to come off of pit road. Leighton Norgard there racing Jake Adams and almost had an accident. Chad ran a little longer, but he should be okay. Oh, he's going to turn right to the... Oh, man, what an aggressive maneuver there.
Yeah, he
just runs it on the apron, too.
He's just run that... He's run that pre-92 Indianapolis line with the apron. You know, it's like the third or fourth time I've seen that tonight on newer tires.
They come up on the slower car here of Michael Hosek. So Jesse Rasmus, Andrew Rucker have yet to pit. And I believe that is it. Everybody else is just a question of when they pitted.
No.
So I am being told Rucker did pit. It was just early, so...
Have to think Jesse would need a yellow here soon if he wants to stay up front. Yeah, he's not going to be up there for long, and he's going to get baited by RC here before we know it here.
Yeah, RC is going to pass, maybe take this lead back before pit stops even happen, as Rasmus is out there running right now, just hoping for a caution. But by my calculations, he's got less than 5 laps of fuel left in the tank.
Yeah, that's going to be the issue that's also going to pop up, is that fuel. He pitted in that last yellow we got, which is about, well, almost...
Oh, he pitted? Jesse pitted on that lap 15 yellow?
Yeah.
So he could run... Well, no. No, he should be close to 80 laps, right?
Yeah, that's about 75 right now, based on my math.
Oh, Scott Crump's trying to split 2 cars on old tires. It's nearly going to be a wreck. And Matthew Weeks was right there as well. I don't think Weeks appreciated it too awful much. A lot of these guys, it's just when did you pit versus when did I pit? And Scott Crump says, I've got the freshest tires, just get out of my way. I got to go. That's what Crump is saying.
Yeah, that gap is now down to us under 2 seconds now. RC is catching Jesse Rasmus in a hurry.
I can't believe Jesse has been able to run this long. I mean, are we at the 80 lap mark?
We're going to be at 80 laps in about 3 laps if he stays out.
That car should be running on fumes here. As Ethan Stanley is going to start. Ethan Stanley was one of the first cars to pit, so if it runs green from here to the end, yeah, Stanley will probably fall out of the top 10.
It's a half second now. He is catching him. He is got him by the end of this lap. I'm going to guarantee
And
it.
here we go. We're going to have a lead change before Jesse Rasmus even hits pit road.
He's gonna just give. He's just gonna give it up. He's got no chance.
Yeah, he's got nothing to fight with here. He's just was hoping for yellow. Jesse might pit right here. Let's see.
Yep. Yep. He's pitting. He's coming in. That was. Had it. Yeah. He's got. Like I said, nothing to lose. He's not a playoff guy. He's essentially Jesse's playing of house money, and you really can't blame him for trying.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking a flyer there like that. Got to try something if you know. I'm a big believer.
Oh, Chad was. I say he was really close to the bumper there when I was going to his camera.
I'm a big believer in if you follow the leader, you're just following the leader all the way to the end. You got to do something different. So, with the lead that RC had, yeah, take the shot. Why would you continue to follow him? It made no sense. So. It might not have worked, but that was the only way you were going to beat him. So we take a look here. Cloud cover is coming back over the racetrack.
I think the bigger question for Jesse, if this runs green to the end, is how many spots can you make up from this and try to salvage?
We talking about Chad? Or Jesse?
Jesse Rasmus. Jesse.
Well, based on what I'm looking at here, Jesse Rasmus, he is a lap down. So he was just about 2 down. Yeah, so he's going to have to make up a whole lap just to start gaining spots. It's going to be hard. Oh, I thought he was in front of RC. Okay, so he just is a lap down. Jesse probably gets back to... Yeah, 15th is where you probably... Is the ceiling. 20th is probably the floor. We'll see. Taking a look here at all these battles through the racetracks, Tyler Fode is going to get a Rucker. We also got a great battle going on here at about that 20th place spot. We got a lot of cars here. Yeah, Dustin and Michael Hosack. Joe Francis is right there. Matthew Weeks is talking about trying to catch a caution right now. Yeah, I feel like it's been a pretty good race so far. We just have the one yellow RC. It's the RC Invitational right now without some kind of caution happening.
Yeah, I think unless Fode plays this right in his hands, I just don't see him catching him. The gap is not increasing at all from 7 seconds.
We are getting ready to see Tyler Fode. Sorry, I was trying to talk a race lead pass here into extensive existence. I can't talk tonight, boys. I think I'm having a stroke. As RC is about to lose the track position clean air to Jesse Rasmus, as Jesse's going to get back on the lead lap, and you know he was in the lucky dog spot, but if you can be on the lead lap, that's where you want to be. But there's cars not too far out in front of them that they will be trying to lap here pretty soon. But I believe with all this green flag racing, we got one more commercial to get in here. So we will see you here in about 2 minutes' time after the break.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back after the commercial break. Still green here. I want to give a shout out to all our sponsors. This is the Rebilas Photo Series. Go to rebilasphoto.com for all your photo needs. Tonight's race is the Ridge NAPA Auto Parts 125, and they are a family-owned business celebrating its 95th year in operation and have 16 stores in southern Indiana and southwest Michigan. Of course, TA Services, who you just saw there on the commercial. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. Blue Egg Marketing, small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. And Worldwide Technology Raceway, and it is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri. And it is a 1.25 mile racetrack that runs on with the NASCAR Cup Series, Truck Series, and the Open Wheel Series. And it also has a 2-mile infield road course used by Trans Am, SCCA, and the Porsche Club of America. And it also features an NHRA drag strip that hosts a Midwest National event in the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art kart racing facility. We have 20 to go here from New Hampshire. RC still leads. We still have a 7-second lead over Tyler Fody. Nearly 8 over Scott Crump, Ethan Burrell, Chad Frankenfield round out the top 5. Rucker, Tooker, Garrison Hogan, Matthew Weeks, Ethan Stanley round out the top 10.
And for you, Josh Robin fans, by the way, he has put it behind the wall for the day. Tough break for his chase hopes there.
Yeah, not the night he wanted. It was not going good, especially after he had to make a second pit stop there. I believe they had a loose wheel on that machine, and they came in and it burned up a hub. And so that's their race there tonight, burning up that hub. Not going to be able to get it back out there. So we take a look right now, though, at this battle right around 10th place. Cutlip just went around Stanley, and Jake Adams is catching both of them to try to pass both of them. Jake is on a little bit fresher tires, so I think that he should be able to make these passes here when he gets to these boys. Maybe even Matthew Weeks out in front of them. They're all coming together. And Jesse Rasmus, we talked about his floor being 20th. He is back to 20th. It's going to be a challenge to get all the way back to 15th with the ground he needs to cover in the next 17 laps, but we will see if he can get that mission accomplished. And we are sitting right now at 22 cars on the lead lap with Hunter Smith and David Carpenter running 21st and 22nd. Right now, the lucky dog is Dustin Dewar, but other cars a lap down are Andrew Hardcastle, Michael Goodwin, Mark Rebilas, Brandon Ultra, Justin Vandermeer are all one lap down. Taking a look here at the Scott Crump machine down into turn number 3. With Chad Frankenfield closing right in on him. Chad is he's making those newer tires go somewhere right now. We will see how much further Chad can get. And here's Jacob Adams. We talked about him being on fresher tires than these guys, being able to make these passes. Should be able to cut the center. Ethan drives in, gets tight. And that's going to let Jacob Adams get clear. Josh Adams going the other way as we take a look from one brother to the other. Josh was an early car that pitted. It's not working out for him. We are inside of 15 to go from New Hampshire. Tyler Fody is closing in on RC, but nowhere near the rate that he's going to catch there. He's made up about half a second. He's still 6.5 back as the battle for second is getting ready to be up there with Scott Crump and Fody, with Burrell and Chad Frankenfield not too awful far behind him. There they come up on Leighton Nogard as... No, that's not him, is it? Hardcastle. Cars look very similar. See, Crump knows he needs a caution. Does he get one? What do you guys think? Is he going to get a caution? Here we go. Riding on board with Scott Crump. Looking at Tyler Fody. Going down to 3, going to take a look. Is he going to drive down in there? He is not. He just wanted to take the look. Fody gets loose on the brakes. I think Fody thought he was going to take the dive, and he didn't. And here we go, side by side. And Michael moves down. Very, very courteous. Yeah, courtesy there. Like, don't always see that. Don't always see that out of these guys. So that was a very heads-up maneuver there by the 24.
Very wise decision by Michael there.
Here we go again, down into turn number 3. Crump on the bottom. Fody on the top. And Fody is going to defend that one right now, as we just have 10 to go.
Basically, barring a yellow, this is officially RC's race to lose at this point. There's just these two battling it will pretty much solidify it.
See what happens here. Scott Crump poking out again. Sending it in there, boys. Is there going to be no contact?
Oh, these two are really giving all they got.
Here they go again, down into 1. Crump seems to like that move into 3. Maybe one time I'd like to see Crump maybe follow him into 3 and get the run off of 4 and try the move down into 1. I feel like the bottom could work. And this might get Crump the top. There you go. Crump's going to be on the top now. Oh, Fody slides all the way up, and then we got contact. Crump is not going to be a fan of that. Fody protecting the bottom. Fody's saying you can have the top.
Oh, what a oh, he slid it in there.
Here we go, boys. Crump is around Fody. Wow. That was very interesting out there. I think what happened is Fody knew Crump didn't like what happened down there in 3 and 4. And I don't think Fody meant for it to happen. And so Fody gave him the preferred line and said, I concede the preferred line because I did not mean to slide up in front of you. Here we go, just 7 to go. And the battle for 10th right now is heating up. Matthew Weeks, Jacob Adams. Jake's going to look to the bottom of Weeks here. Both of these cars in the playoffs. Jake's on a little bit newer tires, so I think Jake should make this pass. And he does so. Right now, the battle for second has settled with Crump getting in over Tyler Fody. Chad Frankenfield, while that battle was going on, made it around Ethan Burrell. And we also got a pretty tight race for 6th here. David Tooker, Andrew Rucker, Garrison Hogan closing in as well. Just 5 more laps left here from New Hampshire. Unless we get a yellow, then we might get into some overtime.
I think we're reaching that the window. If we get a yellow now, we're going to overtime.
Yeah, I have to agree with that assessment. As we take a look right now, these cars all of them are tight now. Even the guys that are on fresher tires, they're not handling very good. It looks like maybe Tooker passed Rucker, and they're separating from each other. Taking a look here at some of the racing going on. Man, this battle for 2nd might not be over. Fode's kind of keeping pace, just a couple car lengths back. Might have another. He might have another run here at him as we got 3 laps to go. Oh, we got a spinner in turn 2. The 25 gets turned.
Good Seth Rawls. Oh, this changes everything.
We're gonna see 25 here get some help from Jay Canor, I believe. Jay's gonna drive in, a little contact, and the 25's around. Right on board with Jesse Rasmus as this happens right in front of him.
That's a break for Jesse, too. He was on the verge of going a lap down naturally towards the end of this race, too. I don't know. Like, I think we would ran too many laps to gamble with 2 tires, unless you're.
I think everybody's gonna pit here.
Oh, here Krupp staying out. That's an interesting
Scott
call.
Krupp, wow.
That's a huge gamble for the playoff driver right there.
Will we see 2 tires? I had a conversation with a driver pre-race, and he said 2 tires was going to be a call late in the race. This is going to be very interesting, boys, on what happens here. Scott Crump stays out, and he is the only one.
I am so shocked by that pit call right now.
Scott Crump is not in a good spot. Scott Crump out there on no tires. Ethan Burrell on 2. RC, Fody, Frankenfield. I believe Ethan Stanley also is on 2 tires here, boys. Yes, Ethan Stanley is also on 2 tires. And so is the 12. 12 is also on 2 tires.
That is, yeah, that's over and almost. That's literally an entire stint.
And he is going to pick the top. He's going to pick the top. And Jesse Razimus also took 2 there in the back as well. So a lot of these guys that took 2 are back through the field.
It finally got the ignition on that car fixed after over 100 laps.
All right, boys, here we go. Old tires, watch for wheel spin. These guys with 2 need to be aware of their wheel spin. Pace car is off. Green is out.
Trump got a good launch from the mid-pack is stacking up.
Here we go, boys. 3 wide for second.
They're 4 wide past like 10th.
Down here, RC is going to go down into the lead. Scott Crump cannot run the bottom. He is up top, just backing up. Oh, we got contact. Garrison's around. And we got a big wreck here.
Big wreck, but they're going to come. Oh, Adams as well.
We got to come back here. We got to come back to that as we take a look up front. Ethan Burrell.
Oh, what a slider off a 2 by Ethan. Look at Chad. She's going to try forcing it 3.
Chad's going to send it down here, boys.
On the apron. He might get both.
Oh, we got contact. Cutlip around Jacob Adams.
R.C. Anderson's going to win.
Followed by Chad Frankenfield, Tyler Fody, Ethan Burrell, Ethan Stanley, David Tooker, Leighton Norgard, Andrew Rucker, Scott Crump, and Jay Canor.
How Crump managed to hang on for a top 10, I will never know.
All right, we are going to take a look here at the Garrison Hogan incident. Little contact right in front of him. Oh, and he turns down. Yeah.
Oh, God, what a hit.
And then he gets hit. We got Jesse Rasmus. There's Josh Adams. Brandon Ultra sneaks through. And there was also another wreck down in 3 and 4 that Jonathan Cutlip got turned around as well. Here we go down the backstretch. I'm wondering if this is going to be something with them running up on the 12, 12 being on 2 tires there. Here we go. Down into 3. That's 2 tires out in front of him, no tires underneath him. Oh, he misses the entry. He misses the entry a little bit. Oh, netcode. Yeah, Rucker got into Jake, but that was some netcode there into that 28 as well. Yeah, it's all netcode too. Rucker into Jake was netcode as well. So RC holds on to the win. Yeah, RC, Chad, no playoffs, Fody in the playoffs. Norgard, some important finishes here. Ethan Stanley was going to finish outside the top 10. Took 2 tires, and 2 tires held on pretty well there. You know, Ethan Burrell took 2 tires, finished 4th. Stanley took 2, finished 5th. Norgard took 2, finished 7th. Of course, Crump stayed out and finished 9th, so he's, I think, you know, all things considered, I think if you'd have told him when they were restarting if he was going to hold on to the top 10, he would be pretty happy with that. And then you get Jay Canor in 10th, Weeks in 11th, Jake Adams, Jesse Razimus. He took 2 tires, also got caught up in that incident on the last lap. Pretty clean race for the most part. Got us a caution. We got a tally on the one car for the wreck coming to the white. We saw that he turned down. He saw what was going on in front of him and maybe reacted to it and turned down and ultimately paid the price for that. We've got our third place finisher here, Tyler Fody. Now, Fody, we talked before the race, and you told me you were going to be an 8th to 12th place car tonight, talked about how bad you were going to run. And what did you do? You go out and won the pole. You might have had the only car that could have ran with RC tonight. It's just you got on a little bit of a different strategy there at the early portion of the race. But talk to me about your night and where all that speed came from in the 10 minutes there after I talked to you in qualifying.
Yeah, I was very slow and not comfortable in practice. And right after I was telling you that it was all going to be downhill, I tightened the steering box one click than what I normally run. And all of a sudden it was like a totally different car. So I guess that's what it was. I didn't expect to go on pole, and then I definitely didn't expect to lead the laps that I did and kind of pull away from Crump. But man, the one time I decide not to go and get tires at the first opportunity on like lap 15, because we only had 3 sets. The one time I decided to stay out, we run 100 laps green. Like I don't know how unlucky that is, but we hung on there, and had I had pit at the first caution, I feel like RC and I would have been close. I feel like he probably ultimately had a little more speed. So it's not too bad. And then, I on that pit stop right at the end, like I was telling you before this, I'm like, I'm taking 2 tires, 100%. I'm taking 2 tires. And then Crump stayed out. And I was kind of thinking, well, if I just take 4 and come out behind RC is going to have to start outside, and then I'll be in prime position in third on the bottom with 4 tires. So I switched it back to 4 tires, and then of course Ethan took 2. So I kind of got stuck on the top. And I almost got to Crump's outside in turn 1, which would have made a lot of difference, I think. But ultimately got boxed in a little bit there and was looking good for second. And then Chad came out of nowhere. I don't know if he was dune buggying through the grass or what, but he disappeared and came flying up alongside of me. So heck of a move by him. And honestly, I think I was going to be third before the yellow at the end, and I ended up third anyway. So not too bad. I'll take it.
Yeah, and you took that second question right out of my mouth. I was waiting on you to take 2, and you didn't, so you addressed that. But then, we talked before the race, and I talked about a long green flag run and a green flag stop, and you said no chance. So what was those tires like after 70 laps?
Dude, it was unbelievable. I was down at like 52, I think, was my right front, like 70-something right rear. It felt a lot worse than the numbers showed. But yeah, that was something. Crump and I had some awesome battles. I don't know how much y'all caught of it, but especially near the end, going back and forth, it was pretty fun. But yeah, it seems like everything that I thought was going to happen went the opposite. We got a long run. I didn't take 2. I was faster than I thought. I don't know. It was wild. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, and you were pretty sure you weren't going to be talking to me. I'll send it over to Brent. Brent, you got a question here for Fody?
Well, Crump, I meant Fody, sorry. Still haven't missed one yet. It's 4 for 4 when I've been in the booth. That battle scene of Crump, that battle before that yellow was very fierce. Did you all had any trust in each other with that one because of some of the past out there on that track on the track?
Yeah, I mentioned that a while back. I'm kind of race to race, honestly. Whatever happens. I just leave it in the past, and I have a feeling Crump's probably the same way. There was a lot of times where we were sliding in, driving in deep on each other, but there was always space given. A lot of respect out there, and I mean, we were on some very old tires, so there definitely was opportunities to kind of use each other up, but we kept it pretty clean. So huge props to him. Still got a lot of respect for him, and I'm sure we're going to cross paths later in the season, so I'm looking forward to it.
That was very crucial to how y'all raced each other tonight. Any shout-outs to sponsors, people, etc.?
Yeah, Blue Egg Marketing, obviously. As always, Hux, Pit Pass Network, KMP Graphics. I also got to shout out Robin for making the playoffs and having his run. He was looking all right, and I guess something happened. He ran into trouble. So that's not ideal, but we got Talladega in this round, and he's an excellent super speedway racer. So I'm sure we'll find a way to get both of us into the next round. And yeah, shout out you guys. It's definitely you, Brent. It has to be, because I did this.
Like I said, haven't missed one yet.
I know, of all the races, I was like, this is the one where I'm not getting up there. But no, we're keeping it alive, and hopefully we can do this the rest of the season. I'll be happy with that.
Well, all right, Tyler. Congrats on the solid start to the playoff, and we will see you next Monday at Watkins Glen. So we'll probably be talking to you again if I know anything about my road course racing in the league.
All right, I'll see you.
And we are now joined by our second place finisher, Chad Frankenfield. Chad, it was a little bit up and down there. You got on the right strategy, and of course, we saw the long green flag run and the green flag stop. And then we kind of really weren't talking about you as having a shot to win, but you came out of nowhere there and passed those guys and ended up finishing second tonight. So take us through your night, everything that you needed to come together to get that monkey off your back that you've been dealing with all season and ultimately missing the playoffs. So I guess this could be glass half full, glass half empty. How are we looking at it?
I mean, it's one of those deals, like, if I was running like crap or didn't have the speed to make the playoffs, I think I'd be more upset about it. But I think I got wrecked in like 6 or 7 of the races. So for me, it's one of those deals where, like, I can pout and, complain the whole time, or I can just pretend these are playoff races and try to build momentum, into next season, and then obviously into as well, because we're sitting pretty in the cup stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, it was a fun race. I think without the first yellow, and like if we would have ran green, I probably was a top 8 to 6 car maybe. But obviously after that, it changed it where I was top 5. I saved tires better than I thought. Usually Ethan's way better on tires, so that's something I'm proud about when it comes to that. But I knew lining up in those first couple rows, if something would happen with those front cars, I had a shot. So, yeah, I mean, it was a fun race.
Yeah, and was there a lot of thought that went into making that pit stop there, or was it just kind of everybody, for the most part, was staying out in front of you and you chose to pit? Because a lot of times we see more cautions than what we had tonight, and if there would have been more cautions, that might have hurt you guys taking a set there. So was it just the fact that you weren't in the playoffs allowed you to be more aggressive there on the strategy, or would you have done that anyway?
It definitely allowed me to be more aggressive, but I probably would have done it anyway, because I felt that first run, we were really clean. I mean, even the yellow that came out, I think, was for like in one of the glitches. So I felt like we were going to go green. So I felt like that strategy would work out pretty well, and it did pretty much work out the way I wanted it to. Yeah, I mean, it was a fun race. I mean, New Hampshire is one of those tracks that's really fun if you get green flag racing, because you can run thousands of different lines, especially once the tires start to fall off. So.
Yeah, and we saw it out there. You were the only car, I think, that was running the apron. Did you notice anybody else doing it? Is that like your little go-to here at New Hampshire, or was it just the setup combination allowed that to happen tonight?
No, I usually do that a lot here. This is a track that usually I can run top 10 at consistently. But I know on the restarts, I mean, the guys are so worried about getting that banking in the second or third groove. I like to just shoot to the apron, and the next gen's actually even better to roll that apron. Yeah, it's one of those things where no one goes down there, so you don't have to worry about checking up for the cars in front of you stacking up. So it's typically a pretty easy way to make a pass. Yeah, I mean, it worked out really well.
All right, I will throw it over to Brent. Brent, you got any questions here for our runner-up finisher tonight, Chad Frankenfield?
Yeah, good run tonight, Chad. But next week is Watkins Glen. Is there any? You're one of the better road course drivers in this league. Do you have any expectations for that race coming up?
Yeah, I think it's obviously I want to win, and I've been in position to win plenty of times there, and I've won races there. This series is just so good, and there's so many decent road racers now that it's tough. I mean, the fun flag kind of throws a curveball in there. I mean, they get restarts in real life, and we see that dictate the races a lot on the road courses. So, I would expect myself to be top 3 car, top 4 at least. We'll see. I mean, if RC shows up, it's going to be pretty much a battle for second. But Tooker's pretty good there too, and I've hung with RC at Watkins Glen, so we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it. I wish it was points on the line, especially after this result this week. But it's always fun to run the Glen. So.
All right, you have any sponsors to shout out? People you want to give thank or anything?
Yeah, just want to thank Kicking the Tires for being on my car. They've been on my car now for about a year and a half. Thank you to Rebilas Photography, Blue Egg Marketing, TA Services, Worldwide Technology Raceway, Josh Smith with Ridge NAPA Auto Parts for coming on board for a couple races this season. Thank you guys in the booth. I just can't appreciate everybody that makes these races go together, and playoffs are here, so the racing's going to the intensity is just going to pick up more and more, and we usually go green more in the playoffs, so there'll be a lot of different things going on.
Yeah, and you're not going to give yourself a shout out there, but I'll shout you out, Chad, for all the different leagues that you run. The same league, but all the different series you run through the week and different things coming up. The month of May is coming up. It's going to get busy here. And, of course, Dave Huckleberry as well. He's not here tonight right now, but he keeps everybody here at Elite Racing Network involved as well and where we're supposed to be. So it wouldn't happen without you two guys as well. So I'll go ahead and say that for you. I know you're not going to pat yourself on the back. But congrats on your run, and we look forward to watching you race next week at Watkins Glen and maybe getting back-to-back your interviews.
Yeah, it'd be great. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Well, RC, you showed up tonight and you showed out. If it wasn't for that last caution, you would have won by quite the margin there. But like with everything else, got to get a little excitement at the end. And before we get to that, I just want to give a congratulations to you as well. This week it was announced you're going to be attempting to make the Indy 500 next month. So congrats on that. And hopefully you can make the show next month, be one of the 33 and go racing in the Indy 500. But talk to us a little bit about your night tonight. The strategy call obviously was a big help. I think your car was good enough, obviously, as the race played out, that even without the strategy call, you would have been racing for the win. But talk to me about that at the start of the race there on that 15, and then ultimately what you were doing the rest of the race just to keep that lead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every time we come here, we have a really good race as far as tire wear goes and people being able to battle. I mean, there's multi-groove, over-unders, all that stuff. So, I mean, this track always races very well for us, especially in these cars. But I only really made that call because I'm not in the playoffs. And if I was in the playoffs, I probably wouldn't have made that call at all. But because I mean, I feel like that call is an 80% chance that it would fail just if we get one yellow. So it was a risky call, and me and Ethan were not in the playoffs. So we're like, let's just do it and see if we can charge back through up the field. And I just rode the apron for 3 laps, and just the grip level difference was able to put me right up there, and I was able to take the lead back. And it was just tire conservation, and really the biggest key to saving tire this place was brake bias. Just as the run keeps going on, you keep cranking the brake bias further and further to the rear, and it just keeps helping not burn that right front. I mean, I got done with that last run, and I ended up being too loose. I got too aggressive with the brake bias, so it was an interesting start. I wish I would have got more practice. I feel like I could have put it on pole, but I joined a little late and was able to put it decent, put a P3, and just kind of sat for the first 15 laps, seeing what everybody else was doing, and the strategy call was the right call. That's really just kind of what put us up front.
Yeah, and like you said, the strategy call, was the right call, and why you made that call out of the playoffs, and we documented your run there through the field. But what were you thinking there when the caution came out?
Oh, I watched it happen right in front of me. I'm like, oh man, it's going to be another one of those. 3 green right checkers, bunch of wrecks. I'll probably be in it. And feel like I just wasted 2 hours. But it was all right. I was thinking about taking 2, and I know Ethan was saying he was going to take 2, but he's far enough back. I thought maybe I might be able to beat him out of the pits. But I took 4, he took 2, and I was thankfully Fody and a bunch of other people took 4 as well. If they all took 2 and I took 4, then it would have been disastrous. So it's just kind of a guessing call. I feel like I guessed right tonight was the only reason that I was in the spot I was in.
Yeah, and I feel like right there where you were, you had such a big lead. The run had been so long. There was a handful of cars that took 2, but they came out spread out through the field. You had Ethan was the only car that was close enough that took 2, but there were some other guys that took 2 too. So I think 4 where you were was probably the right call because those other guys couldn't make up the time, even taking 2 tires.
Yeah, I think we had a bunch of lap cars involved there, so it was able to spread out the pitting infield. So it was the right call overall. But it was a really fun night. The person I feel really bad for is Scott Crumb because I feel like somebody should at least stayed out there with him. He was the only one that didn't, and he was really fast tonight. I mean, he started once he got by Fody and they had their big battle. He started to eat into my gap a little bit. So I mean, I know he was quick, and it was just a disastrous staying out for that. But
I couldn't believe he stayed
Yeah.
out. Was there ever any thought for you of staying out?
not a chance. It's just new tires was for the first 15 laps on new tires. They're just on another planet than everybody else. It was like 2.5 seconds or something like that. It was something ridiculous. I mean, you could ride around on the apron below the yellow line and you're still faster than older tires. So it was a no-brainer call, and thankfully I still had a set left because I mean I knew I was a set behind, but it ended up being the right call. Everybody else pitted. I think everybody else on the same page. I think he was just trying to do something a little different, hoping that more people would stay out and it would cause more caution. Not looking for one green white checker, looking for multiple. But yeah, no, overall, I'm happy with the win. I think this might be my first win of the season for Xfinity. I haven't made many races. I've been traveling so much, so it's a bummer not to be in the playoffs. I don't think I'm in the playoffs in any of the series right now. I was in all three of them last season, but time to just go get some race wins and race when I can. But I hopefully with this 500, I don't think I'll see you guys for a month and a half.
Also, are you saying you're not going to be at Watkins Glen next week?
Yeah, no way, probably not.
Oh man, that just opened up the door for somebody else to win because I think everybody was assuming you were going to be there and it was going to be a race for second.
I bet Chad's chomping at the bit right now.
Yeah, because he already came in here and said it was going to be a battle for second. You were going to
I
show
legit
up.
asked him if he had any chance.
Yeah, no, I'll be driving to Barber on Wednesday, and I go from Barber to Indy, and I'll probably be in Indy for the entire month. So I probably won't see you guys till June.
That's right. When you got the Indy 500 trophy, right?
Yeah, hopefully we're doing our best. I mean, the car's been in prep for a long time, and I think we'll show up with a rocket.
Well, all right, let me throw it over to Brent and see if Brent has any questions for you tonight.
All right, good win on that tonight on this race, RC. First of all, when you're obviously in the chase, not in the chase, and you're playing with house money like we see with many guys tonight, do you ever doubt a strategy call like you did tonight at any point?
I feel like no matter which strategy call I pick, I'm doubting it every single time because you just never know what everybody else is going to do. You hope most of the people do what you're doing. But yeah, no, every time you make a pit decision, I knew the one call that I was going to make that was without a doubt what I was going to do is the second I saw Fody go to the pits with the gap I had, I was going to the pit the lap after. I wanted to keep on consistent tires with him and keep that gap there. I think Chad made a good call by going a little longer. He was really coming up through the field, but I don't know if he had enough time. But yeah, no, I knew that was the one strategy call that I was 100% confident in, but almost everything else was just a guessing game.
Gotcha. One last question, real quick. Are we going to see as one of the fastest 33 at Indianapolis on Sunday, May 28th?
Oh, we're hoping so, man. We're hoping so. I'm really confident in these guys and in the car we have, so it should be great.
Gotcha. Any shout-outs to sponsors, people, etc.?
Yeah, of course, Rayco Machine and Engineering Group. They're on every single one of my cars. They've been awesome. Ever since I put their paint schemes on, I've been seen to doing like very good in every single sim race I do. So it's kind of been good luck so far. But obviously, you guys up here in the booth, you guys do an awesome job. Looking back at these replays, it's like you're watching a real race with how well you guys do on commentary and watching the whole thing. And then obviously Chad, who runs the league, managing that many leagues and how much time he puts into these things, it's not easy on top of what his actual job is. So it's time consuming and it lets us have joy at the end of the day and get to go racing. And then of course Pro Edge Racing, they've been awesome. We always talking, we're all in Discord talking and chit chatting the entire race, and we all give each other tips and tricks and try to get all of us as a group faster. So it's been pretty awesome. But yeah, tonight was a good night, and I'm hoping for more of these.
Cheers to that. Give them heck in the month of May.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, guys.
Congrats on your win tonight, RC. And if we don't see you for a month, good luck.
Thanks a lot, guys. I'll be watching.
Well, boys, we had a green-white checkered, but a lot of clean racing, a couple different strategies play out. How would you rate this race, Brent?
I think the perfect start to any chase in any league. Like I said, you had comers and goers the whole night. Strategy had a few spicy things late in the race to mix things up, but the bottom line was probably a good first race to get on even footing and even keel for this series as we go to Watkins Glen next week.
Yeah, we'll have to Watkins Glen next week and then Talladega, and then we will re-stack the field and see who's going to be racing for the playoffs there. But I want to give a shout out to all our sponsors tonight: Ridge NAPA Auto Parts, shout out TA Services, Blue Egg Marketing, Worldwide Technology Raceway, and tune into Elite tomorrow night as we got the ARCA Series wrapping up its season. Wednesday night we got the Cup Series. Thursday, I'm not sure if there is a race on Thursday, but nonetheless we have the Delaris Series opener Thursday night, and so tune in and check that out. And we will be back with you next Monday, live from Watkins Glen. Thanks for tuning in.